And my story went like my dad did a good business. He was doing very well financially. But my mom kept me connected to that in the sense that I didn't see that success financially is the right thing we were having. But what was clear was we were actually doing well. There was one crazy event, political, geopolitical, whatever you want to call it. The entire business went down from, let's say, multi-crore net worth to a multi-negative crore liability. Right? This happened in a period of 2 months, 3 months. So that was quite shocking for my parents. And it was supposed to be shocking for me, but as a child, I think the universe and my mother and my parents did a good job of keeping me away from that pressure. And the life was maintained for me. So I felt like it was all the same. And what happened was when I grew up with that problem going on in our family for many years, I ended up joining a good business school, learned the finance, and then looked at the same problem which they were having. And then at that point, I was like, this is unbelievable. This is like not solvable. Like multi-negative crore liability. I was doing the math. I was trying to divide how much income I need to make to solve this over the next 20 years, 30 years of my life. It just didn't make sense. So what happened was I actually went into the state of like, actually I can't do anything about it. This is something I personally cannot do anything about. So what instead I'll do is I'll do what I can and kind of leave the rest up to sort of like power or the universe or luck or whatever. And that journey is what I'm here to share a little bit and my insights from that, which I feel like healed a lot of things in my family over the next few years and still going on actually. So what happened was we went through this situation where our last property where we were staying in was going to be auctioned off, and that auction was happening. The notice was put, and collectively as a family, we just started. I started taking the photos of the house to put it up on sale, like for auction, and I said, actually, all my life I've gone through so many addiction problems, so many education problems. Something always worked out. So we will kind of like get it through. And the moment when our family decided, okay, this is fine, we'll be fine, even if we need to, you know, we have enough like support from the community that even if it means to stay in a small place, we'll go and stay. It'll all be fine. And the moment we truly accepted that new reality, but this came from acceptance not of like, man, like, don't suffer, I'm going to suffer. It was more like, we'll be fine, whatever it is. The moment that clicked, all the things started going upward from there. Because I now, on hindsight, after many such experiences, I believe what actually happened was I had tapped into something called the abundance mindset, which is completely an inward experience, right? This abundance mindset has nothing to do with how your outer reality is. It is completely a factor of how our mind and emotions feel at every single moment. That is very critical, every single moment. Because I know many of us feel abundant when we go for a walk in nature and as we go to society, we have things with us or our family because we can see. But that is very small. 90% of the time we're actually looking at our phone, maybe looking at our computer. So here I'm just trying to bring that fact out that what we do, what our inner state, which is our mind and emotion, and using the brain or the mind this part and the emotions here because sometimes we we emote a lot without knowing it and it's out of our control, and that ends up determining our outer situation. So the 90% of the time, how we are present in the mind and emotion kind of delve into the material reality that we live in. So I got inspired by this book from here the book, which felt like a beautiful culmination of my journey of knowing that this kind of truth has been spoken about in that ancient. So now with a little practice, we want to check in with ourselves. What is the one thing is still for you to question yourself? What is that one thing I wish I had right now to feel truly and continuously rich and new? Right? I think we all have that one thing which is on top of our mind or back of our mind, which feels like if I have this, I think I'm not doing it. For some people, it might be a beautiful relationship. For some people, it might be like they're do well. Some, it might be just like, want a good job. I want my boss off my back. Or something like, I just want credit card debt to go away. Something like that. So what is that one thing? I'm just giving a 30 seconds time for you to come up with that. And if you want, you can note it down in your phone or any other thing, because this we're going to work with this. So the second question, to my best knowledge, what thoughts are stopping me from receiving it right now? And by right now, I mean before the end of this session or before we get out of the space that we are in, right? What is stopping me from having it right now? Because as a child, I wanted everything right now. There was no like, if you want a sweet, have it tomorrow. I felt like I'm worthy of having it right now, right? So think about what is the counter thought which comes to your head when you start asking or receiving that one thing that you want. What is the counter thought? Maybe it might be like, it's too hard in this world to make money. It would be like, all potential partners are not worth my love and effort. So what is that one? Please try to articulate the thought within yourself. Because this will be the repetitive thought in your head actually 90% of the time. Am I feeling worthy enough? This question is, am I feeling worthy enough to allow myself to feel fulfilled in the current moment? So this is a two-step question. One, what is worthiness? For many people, it's like, what do you mean? I'm worthy. Like, are you talking about a price on me or something? No, but this feeling of worthiness, this might be the problem some of us face in kind of receiving this. The problem is when this gift of feeling abundance is trying to come, we actually are telling it, I don't want it. It's a radical statement I'm making. I'm basically saying, you are saying, I don't deserve to be continuously rich and wealthy. Maybe we are saying it consciously, but something in us is basically saying, maybe it's not for me. So the reason is, so if somebody has a question like, no, I don't feel that consciously, I feel like I'm worthy. Think about actually the time when we were a child. Did the child ever hesitate to receive a gift? It is not received. It is happily taking, and it will go run to its mom or dad or something and say, look what I got. Now, if somebody is giving us something, our guards go up. It's like, what's the transaction going on? Is somebody targeting me? In fact, it feels like I don't want it. This is a personal problem of mine. I don't want it because when it goes away, I'll be upset. So I'm already projecting a future self and feeling like I don't want to take it because if I have it, I love it so much, and then somebody takes it away, like eventually life happens that way, I'll be upset. So this is a constant rejection of abundance we actually might be doing internally. So these are the three kind of repetitive practices I follow to check in with myself at this moment. What is it that I want, which will make me feel abundant? Is anything coming in my mind which is saying, actually, I don't, I don't deserve it, or I probably, it's logically not possible to get this. For example, coming back to my story, it was not logically possible to clear so many multi-crore debt in a short period of time. No logical sense. I was like a basic new graduate coming into the job market. Even if I got the hedge fund job in US, that will still take like 10 years or 20 years to go. But there was just like no logical sense to get that through. So usually the mind comes into the way, and then finally I'm feeling worthy now. So these are the three questions I want us to ponder upon as we go to the next page. So when we look at what we want, which will make us feel rich and wealthy, try to see what is the underlying true need or true desire behind that need. For example, I feel like I want a house near the forest and looking the forest. So that's one of the things I feel like I want, which will make me feel rich and wealthy. But actually, the true need behind it is that I want peace in my mind and love in my heart for nature. I want to be with nature in a wholesome sense. Just like how a tree is just living happily, I want to be. That is my truer need. Inner tranquility is my truer need. But in the outer manifestation, it looks like a house in the forest. So try to isolate that true need. And here I would like some feedback on what truer need comes up for people. Maybe a couple of quick, what comes up for you guys when you isolate the truer need that you're looking for. Soul firing. And it may not be very super high also. Yeah.
Kind of an environment which helps me avoiding stress. Something closer to nature.
Closer to nature. But what do you think is the deeper requirement for you in that? This is how the circumstance. Peace of mind. Okay, great. Connection. Familiar also, would you say familiar community connection or just a deeper sense of connection? You look for a sense of connection. Freedom. Great. Safety and security, big one. Right? I want to get into that. It's a beautiful topic. Safety and security, which one thing can solve a lot. That's a big one. Abundance. Beautiful. I think we'll get there before the session ends. Equality for knowledge. You want to see everyone thrive in a beautiful way. If after a while we percolate on the three previous points, once we identify this, we can actually directly jump into this, and I'm going to talk about what that looks like. So now, revisualize the moment. So when I'm talking about the moment, it's a moment when we feel like what we're lacking. So now revisualize that whole moment as though this pure need and pure desire is fulfilled. Right? If somebody was talking about peace of mind, just feel like you're already in that peace of mind. And I know it's not logical, because the logical brain will say, no, it's not possible, it's not happening. But you can close your eyes, you can look inward. Just revisualize this kind of lack feeling into the pure need is fulfilled. Maybe if somebody is saying equality for all, maybe that's already happened. See the noticeable shift in your emotional pattern right now. Just when we get what we truly want, we actually start loving everyone easily. We don't have a problem with most things actually. So take a snapshot of this vibrational position that you're in right now. It's like a screenshot or an emotional screenshot, and then try to do your best to remember that. This is now in your pocket. Anytime you can access that just by double clicking it. And then we are going to set this as a permanent wallpaper, screensaver, background of our life. Right? The mind will be like, what are you doing, bro? Like nothing is this is not real.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not real. Yeah. As a child, we always knew this is possible. We could just start living from that quick space. This practice was given. Yeah. So this practice was given to me by a teacher of mine who said, for 42 days, lock in this vibrational state, 24/7.
Wow.
After that, if you are not convinced, drop this whole bullshit of abundance mindset, this, and then go back to whatever you think is right. But for 42 days, do it. For me, I was in a position of like, I had no choice really. And also there was this inert feeling of life is actually supposed to be this easy. It is not supposed to be this complex. We cannot do life in this complexity that we are living in. I deserve to have a simple and beautiful life. So that kind of kicked in and I practiced it. I just did it for 42 days. And he gave a point, it will happen before 42 days. And you should give me 10% of whatever you get. And I was like, okay, he's kind of like, raising the stakes and everything. So I basically tried it. And I didn't try it out of like experimentation alone. I actually was like, this is how life should be. And that kind of powered it through. Okay, I'll tell you how this looks like now. Before we come to how does it fully help. It looks like waking up in the morning and actually feeling the snapshot that your true need is actually met. Even when it's dark and you don't want to wake up and it's like I need to get to the washroom or whatever. We feel like, hey, actually it's happened. No? The truer thing has done. For me, the whole financial problem was hanging on my head. And it's gone. And I'm talking to my mom as though it's gone. And I'm just living my life like that. Okay, it's actually gone. And then, Okay, how it helped for me was the financial situation went away. All the problems which was eating at us overnight, the land which we wanted to sell, which didn't get sold for 7 years, sold. My company called me and said, okay, this is what you get. And one case which we had with one of our relatives or whatever, which was going very badly, that disappeared, and they had a situation where they'll settle for like 1/10 the price or whatever. So everything just started working out. And now the magic happens. You will not feel differently once that actually happens. Because you've already started feeling that way. So this is the critical point. We are not waiting, we are not postponing our sense of joy and fulfillment to an external event. In fact, we are saying that I have already started feeling good. It actually doesn't matter what happens on the outside. And the outside will keep showing you like life is amazing, but I'm like, I already know. Right? Because you inherently know life is actually amazing. And you can walk through life, and slowly what will happen is your new inspirations will start coming, which is what I'm going to come to next. But till so far, any thoughts which are coming up, any questions which are coming up? That word is being used a lot, but for me, that comes up from a sense of like, I want this, so I'll manifest that. But that is not a powerful enough want. It has to be distilled with the previous practices of what do we truly really want. So manifestation is pitched around like unlimited credit card, which you can get whatever you want. But actually, you will not want it. You think you want a car, but then you'll wait for the guy to scratch your car, and you'll be like, I don't want this car. Or, I don't want the scratching now. So that's an endless loop. But once we isolate the truer need, I feel this is not manifestation. This is just fulfillment of our wholeness of our life itself.
So it's like the law of assumption.
Could say, because assume is the word you'll use. If you're assuming, it's already like that. But here we are going one step above assumption to actually live that way. Like we are emanating the new frequency of our emotional space and mental space. That it's actually awesome right now. Yeah, it was reminders, constant reminders, right? I kept the wallpaper like something like to remind myself on my phone. But trust me, that doesn't help as much as your inner intention. In fact, we have an alarm system in our body, which I know, not just for physical alarm. I actually tell my body like wake me at 6:30. But this one is an alarm system. You might remember that we can feel the truer need and truer desire immediately. So you can tell your body, tell your mind that remind me to be this way all the time. And when I say all the time, it's literally all the time. Even when you're feeling like I wanna really let go and be like complain about something to someone, be like, no, actually, you know what I really wanted has happened. Let me just deal with this problem without so much of anger and frustration for that few minutes. I mean, actually, the tapping thing is now a very research question. I wanted to actually talk about it there time. So people tap in different ways. You can Google about abundance tapping and so many other things are there. We kind of EFT. Yeah. Some people seem to know about it. I actually haven't practiced it, but it seems to work for some people. Tapping. I think it's like some sense of like.
Yeah.
Right.
It's meridian points that we
Exactly. So I think that's what for everyone it looks slightly different. Look like this for me. For some people it could look like some specific practice comes into place. And another thing which helped me with respect to stay in that state was actually meditation. Because when I sit for meditation, all the problems start coming up. But now I can focusedly use and like inserting the deeper programming now. I can actually say, no, actually life is awesome. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to think life is awesome. So that becomes like this sort of, you're drilling so deep in that moment that you're holding the root, it takes a root in your mind, a new thing. But the critical thing is to go through the previous practice, which is to isolate what actually happened.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm not able to differentiate any. The emotions are automatically associating with either new memories or old memories. That emotion. So is that okay, or should I?
Can you give me an example?
Like I'm getting moments of feeling secure. right? Like I'm trying to visualize that in the future or something from the past. So should I isolate that emotion and just feel that
No.
reality or-
So when you feel secure, you can that's like a snapshot coming back up.
yeah.
But the critical part is when you're not feeling secure to bring this up, right? So if you are actually going to a neutral space where feeling secure becomes a standard point. So your reminder should actually come up when you're not feeling secure. So that is the kind of you literally like can tap or you can bring yourself like have you seen what people they just like will themselves back into focus.
Yeah.
Right? You can do something like that. So meditation practice brings one back into the moment much faster. But with respect to the it's just a sense of 42 days tapasya. For me it was like that. Next 42 days I'm gonna just do it. We can try it 2 days or 1 day. Till the end of today I'm gonna feel snapshot works. Alright. So this 42 days, I didn't question it because I already switched off my mind by then.
For every 42 days, you will have a different snack.
No,
No, it's the
it,
same.
in fact for me, but after 30th day, I stopped having because I could. It's like a trick of the universe has been revealed. After that, you can decide if you feel good or not. External circumstances nothing to do with. Even now, when amazing things happen, I'm like, okay, because that's normal. This is not some. I'm feeling grateful every moment. I mean, I am, but it is just the natural state of okay, 42. That 42 days ka concept is just the initial momentum to be built. After that, like I said, this is not manifestation where you like there it's like first car, second home, just keep going on. This is more like what's my truer need? And this truer need usually comes up when you're alone, when you're feeling weird, like in one weird space of like confusion, that truer requirement starts coming up a little bit. I came across some literature from the ancient text on the Antalakshmi Stotra, which I actually thought it some sloka or something. But actually, these are the holistic aspects of wealth which came into me, which guided the thought came into me. So the first one is inner tranquility. So who all felt like this was their inner need or deeper need coming up? Anybody? This was the thing? Okay. Great. This is the foundational wealth for whom material wealth came. Anyone material wealth came? Beautiful. Great. So this wealth is another aspect which is being kicked out of spiritual society and kicked out of public society. Because you are supposed to be poor if you're spiritual and you're supposed to want nothing spiritual. I think that is little egoism, basically shying away from responsibility of what the universe or the higher self want. In fact, we might need those material wealth to actually sort of like manifest certain things for people, right? Like this is given to us so that you can carry out your like mission, something like that. And I feel like sometimes the clear window basically said this there's a hidden trap in this, which is why everybody's saying let's avoid the trap. But I think the age has come to when he says you have to now actually bravely go into that world of material wealth despite having this so that that world is purified. That's a deeper topic. But if materials come, I love it because India badly needs it. Okay. So you only this is another thing. So many of us we know who have a lot of money and like all that, but health-wise, before the classic one, this beautiful festival is a manifestation of why this wealth is so important. Yeah. For anybody that's given. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, power and reputation. Another word which we all want to like look away from and be like, I don't want any power. All those powerful people are corrupt. Again, this is the beautiful power or wealth given by the word, so that we can influence the correct way. And you can see the previous speaker who has clearly influenced and got gifted with some of this. He's clearly utilizing it in the correct way. Right? So another this is the depth of impact we have. Okay. So this one, I'm not going into the full. The original Totra says this is the creative. The offerings are coming only after this wealth. So basically, if you can have a baby, you need the blessing of this wealth, right? But for me, what I understood it as is your project, your life, your family is your baby. It's what you're creating, and the creative force is a wealth that we are like imbued with. But there is a chance that we might not be listening to it because we're listening to the logical mind which says all the things that usually say. So some of us, we might think that person is not wealthy, but we clearly know they have so many different aspects going for them. Okay. So this is the courage and resilience part, where the sutra basically goes into how warriors are built. But this courage is to actually face the negative chatter in our mind, according to me, which actually prevents the deeper wealth from coming in, whatever we require from coming in, because the negative chatter is actually very dominant. It can be so scary that we actually don't have, and I don't have, I can feel it like at 10 p.m. something starts saying you have to order an ice cream. And I don't have the courage to stand up to that. If I talk to them, I'm gonna have a problem. Like there's just this fear which comes up. And the days when I face the fear, of course, those are amazing. But when it's not, I know that I can invite this aspect more. Success in history also slightly cast out of spiritual and like holistic areas where success is any sign is like you have to kick everyone out and you're the only one left, so not even worth doing. But actually, what I see from success is a lot of things happening for you the right time, right? So if you are anybody who's started a company or done some crazy project knows that a lot of things have to go right for them at the right time. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. In fact, any life for anyone after like 40, 50 years, you need a lot of money. But this only gives the sense of completion in our life. Without this success and victory, we'll feel like I'm still on the, I'm still running. There's not this feeling of like, you know what, right? There's not this feeling of like, that was a good job. Because that is the wholesome experience of a human life. Without that completing success, not gonna happen. And like for many of us, we relate with like a team winning. That's why my friends are like, why you watching football? You're not winning. Like they are only winning, like your team. But no, it gives me a sense of like, actually I can be happy that my team won. Yeah, and this is one which our facility in India, South India values a lot, knowledge and skill, which we pray to, we look forward to, we invite into our life. This brings more beauty in life, I feel. This aspect where we start enjoying things for the thing itself and it is not some kind of goal. The skill itself is so beautiful, the art is so beautiful, and this is again another wealth that we can cultivate. Okay, so we're going to pick up this one. So this is the time where we put what our snapshot was, and we actually lock in a very deep and powerful way. We'll have some question answer after that. But now it is time to just lock it in and bring that new snapshot and integrate it to the daily experience. So try to remember, recollect that deeper need or deeper desire in us. You can close your eyes if you like. You can even keep it half closed. If you like, you can keep your palms facing upward like you're receiving something. So what we are recollecting is the deeper need and desire. And we are visualizing our mundane day-to-day morning to evening life in a quick sort of a reel locked in that vibration. Maintaining that sense of as though that deeper need and desire is fulfilled. We can make a small promise to ourselves for the next couple of minutes. Whatever negative chatter which comes, we're going to say, no, I am actually feeling beautiful right now with all the things that is coming in. We can visualize this as a physical gift handed to us. Notice the relief our body is saying that, finally I got it. One problem over. Try to linger in that relief. Linger in that feel of sense of fulfillment in which now we are ready to actually share this with others.
let it build up the feeling of fullness that now I'm ready to actually give that person who's annoying me, but I'm still going to give this to them. You can also visualize it as a stroke of white light, streak of white light or golden light coming in. Or you can, if you are more into emotional work, you just focus on that sense of fulfillment. Now that that scene is locked in, notice that at this moment, actually, any work which we want to do in the world or on ourselves, we are ready for, because we have all the wealth for that. See if you feel a sense of expansion. As from a sense of expanded self, we actually can be more patient in life, because from a sense of small self, we are in a hurry and the negative chat starts again. And let us, if we are called to promise ourselves that we will maintain this vibrational state for a period that you feel comfortable with. Don't, we can even say it's for the next 5 minutes, 1 hour, whatever, but just a small promise. And we are telling our mind that, hey, you have given me a lot of support over the years. Unless things for me beautifully, but sit this one out, please. Beautiful. So slowly we come back and stay in this new vibration state. Okay, so we'll be slowly coming out and continue our day in this new state. The program requires the next program to continue, the whole day continues. So what we do is I'll be available today here. We want to have a small chat room somewhere nearby also, we can do that. Thank you. My name is Siddharth. You can get my contact details if you want later. I do more programs like this.